And I do realise I've got to the end of the video and I've not actually seen any negatives. That was an accident. Hello, today you join me at Landseer Leisure and I'm bringing you this brand new Ford Tourneo Custom built on the Campervan vehicle, poptop campervan. And I really, really like this van. I've seen it very similar before, and it's the interior for me that I really do quite like. But it's not just about the interior. So let's first of all talk about what we've got on the outside. So first of all, coming around the front, it is, like I've said, built on the Campervan vehicle. So it is a Ford, not the Ford Transit, because the Ford Campervan is the Tourneo, which is the higher spec level. So as you can see around the front, we've got these chrome highlights all through the grille as well. It is a Ford, and that means it's got the 100,000 mile warranty, 3-year warranty engine, 2-litre diesel in this particular case, and this model is the automatic. LED headlights. These headlights are really very good. In darkness, they do highlight the road rather well. And then you've got the nice grills down the front. But we've all seen the Ford Tourneo before. So coming back round the side, and you'll see around here, we've got the Thule wind-out awning. Perfect for days like today. The sun is out. It is absolutely glorious. But what that means is we can wind that awning out and then have a bit of shelter. So I'm not squinting for when I'm looking. So when you're outside, you're doing your outdoor living, you've got your cooker out here, you're making some food, and you're just enjoying the outdoor lifestyle. You've got a shelter, and then if the weather does decide to turn and it does start raining, again, you've got shelter. Pop top on this one is the SCA roof, extremely high quality roof. This one's got the scenic canvas, so the canvas completely opens up, so you can have that beautiful views, especially on days like today. Completely opens it up, and it just opens it all up to the elements. You've also got the netting there as well, so that netting just means that when you might be in bed, you're not going to be letting any flies in such as that. Fits perfectly to the roof because the roof was designed to go exactly to the van. And then also you'll notice on the outside, NCC approved. So Landseer Leisure, NCC approved converter, this VCA also as well. Let's have a look inside to see how special this conversion is. So this is my favourite part of this campervan. And long-term viewers of the channel will know, I don't really know why specifically, because it's not actually my favourite colour, but when it comes to campervans, for some reason, I'm quite liking the green, and this has got it. And look at this beautiful worktop. Absolutely lovely work surface. Solid wood oak surface, and it just looks fantastic, especially against this green. So as far as units are concerned, we've got the usual units, so opening up the doors, nice catches, which catch, so once they're caught, they're not going to come out again until you actually pull the hinge, which is exactly what you need, obviously, in a campervan. Moving vehicle, you're going to be storing things in there. The last thing you want is for one of those to pop open and all your goods, all your pans and things go everywhere. And trust me, I have seen that happen in a campervan. Pans and kettles and things all over the place because somebody didn't shut the door properly. So yeah, so nice catches to put on that. Nice lightweight units. The wood which is used for these is all lightweight. But let's get to the main parts of the campervan. So it has Sterling Power induction hob, and that is powered by the Clayton LPS2, which he's got on here. So it's got that high power system, which is capable of providing power to things such as that. So double induction hob, so you'll be able to put 2 pans on there at the same time, and everything can be controlled by a control panel. So we've got this control panel which nicely comes up with their logo on there as well. Montana control system, and we can see that at the moment we've got 92.1% battery left, and in its current power we can see there's a solar input of 122 watts. So the 240 watt solar panel which we've got on the roof is providing power, and with it being an absolutely beautiful sunny day, and I think the pop top is actually pointing towards the sun as well, 123.3, 122. It's fluctuating, but that is putting lots of power into this battery. We can see that the output is currently 174 watt, so I'm not quite sure what that's powering, but we've obviously got the fridge, we've got all the LED lights. We've pretty much just turned everything on in here to make sure that I can see exactly what I'm doing. And then yeah, so this is controlling everything which you've got, temperatures, all the powers, all the water tanks. So we can see we've got 12.5 degrees at the moment. Yeah, it's definitely getting warmer. That sun is coming out, which is fantastic. And then we've got all the controls here, so we can be turning the lights on and off. You've got your master power there to be turning the whole master system off. You've got the awning light as well, and then you've got the water pump. Also, heating wise in this van, now this is powered by a Webasto diesel heater. So you've got the Webasto controls here, and also you can have a hot water system. So hot water, that can be powering for the sink. So we've obviously got a sink in here. Underneath this lovely oak board, and that, yeah, it's got some absolute quality to that. Would you really want to double that up as a chopping board? Maybe you would. I don't think I would. I think I'd just have it, or maybe you could just use one side as a chopping board. Not quite sure. But yes, so you've got the tap in here, and that can provide your hot and cold water. It's a nice deep sink as well. Really, really nice sink. But there's also an external shower point, which we'll come on to when we get outside the back of the van. So you can be actually having a hot shower in your camper van, something which we are seeing a lot more because customers, it's what they want. You know, they want to be having nice warm showers when they're out. Whether it's a case of they've gone onto a campsite, they might already have showers, so you might not need the full shower to be washing yourself. But when you're coming off the beach, you know, when you're covered in sand and things like that, rather than having freezing cold water, much nicer to have a warm shower. So yes, so you can heat that up with the Webasto system. We've got a fridge in here as well. The Webasto 42 litre isotherm fridge, and then you've got the freezer compartment up at the top there. Nice freezer compartment, and that's actually really cold. That has definitely been on. Flipping heck, that is a cold fridge. So yeah, so we've got that in there, so we can keep in all your food and drink nice and cool. So that's your kind of your cooking area, your heating area, but it's not just down to that as well, because we've got some units above the top, which again have got these lovely catches on, and you can pull those down, and then they hinge down, because when you open them, you don't want things falling out. I do know people have different preferences the way these actually open, but these open down, and I quite like that because they are on a level where you're actually going to be looking down on them anyway, so you're actually going in them from the top as opposed to underneath. On some of the higher vans, people like them to open up that way because they are above you, but in a small popped up conversion such as this, having them opening down is a preferable way. That's what I think so anyway, but what does my opinion matter, eh? Coming further along, we have this pull out storage area, again with some LED lights. There's LED lights just littered throughout this vehicle, and it just adds to the kind of the ambience, and it just makes the van look really, really special. Yeah, I do like it. I really like these units. The colour of the units against this wooden surface, it just looks phenomenal. Really, really nice van as far as I'm concerned. So the bed. So on the bed here, this is the Mobiframe bed. So as you can see, it's a 3-seater bed. So you've got 3 seat belts for actually traveling. So you can have 3 rear traveling passengers. In the front, you've got the twin captain seats. So twin captain seats, which I will come on to in a moment. But yeah, so this is the Mobiframe 3-seat bed. Folds out down into a full-on bed, and it is really rather comfortable. Not sure whether you've actually had the privilege of lying on one of these beds, but I have, and yeah, it's comfortable, very, very comfortable. Some people do say that they don't even need any any kind of mattress toppers or anything like that, which is obviously a benefit. If you've got a campervan conversion such as this, the less things which you need to carry, the better. So if you're not having to carry around your mattress topper, whatever that may be, then that could be a benefit. I personally always use my duvet anyway, and that's obviously got that, you know, the little bit of foam. But yeah, it's just something which you might not necessarily need, so you might just need to bring your duvet or your sleeping bag or whatever your preference is. But like what I always say about people and these beds, it's a case of testing them out yourself, because what my sleeping preferences are in comparison to what your sleeping preferences are, they can be 2 completely different things. So yeah, so test them out for yourself and make sure that is what you want. But with it being the Mobiframe bed system, it is a sliding bed, so you can just lift up the latch and you can just move it along, which is brilliant, because what that actually does is, as you move it along the actual floor, which obviously clicks into the surface, it means that you can actually create a bigger storage area behind, or have the largest storage area in front, depending on what you're doing, whether you're carrying passengers or not. Whatever you're putting in here, you know, it's entirely up to the individual what they're going to be using the van for. And from time to time, these kind of things change. So having the bed system on rails for some can be a huge positive. But what we've also got in this van, we've also got some storage area above. So storage area above them here. So again, other drop down, and it's quite deep storage pockets. So just another little bit of a storage area. Sorry about that. Just let it flick back, and you know, you just got some more storage for yourselves to be putting in there. The camper van is fitted with Vanshade blinds throughout, so we've got Vanshade blinds in the back here, and these are beautifully upholstered. We've got the Alcantara, suede, whatever it is, and it's just really, really nice to the touch, and it looks exceptional as well. So you can see we've got the blinds here as well. We've got them here, we've also got them in the sliding door, and we've also got them in the tailgate as well. And it just gives it that kind of that professional finish, that real high quality finish. You do know that I am a fan of van shades, and yeah, they just look absolutely phenomenal in this van. So we've got the carpet in this one, and this looks, it's a darker one. Again, personally, I do like the darker ones, and it's different grey to what the actual Alcantara is, so that just kind of that contrast just makes it look fantastic. Another LED light coming along the inside, making sure that wherever you have a look inside this van, there's some nice lighting, whether it's to actually light things up or whether it's just to make it look good. So we've got some obviously lights under here. We've actually got some more lights. I'll just hold my finger on there, on my thumb on there even. We can see we've got lights coming all around here, and it comes round all the way round. And I think it just looks really, really high quality. It looks really special. It's a feature which is just a light, but actually it does make a big difference, especially when it's dark. You might not be able to really kind of pick it up in the camera light the way it is at the moment, but when it's in an evening and maybe you're getting ready for bed or just whatever, you know, it may be, the lights really do add something extra. So yeah, so I'm a big fan of the lights, if you haven't guessed already. So behind me here, we've got a tambour door. Tambour door opens up, and you can see you've got this different storage area. It's plenty of shelves to be storing your goods on there, folding items up, putting things in there, and then we can just have a peek. We can actually see that we've got the Clayton power system in there, and the runtime on that looks like 37 hours possibly. So yeah, so Clayton power system in the back of there. As we go through the back of the van, we shall see the fuse board, and we'll see the various different aspects in there. But yeah, access to electricals isn't an issue at all. And then just on the roof, on the side of the pop-top roof, we can see there that we've got two more strip lights. There is lights, high quality lights throughout this van, and I think that's one of the things that kind of sets it apart from a few of the other conversions. You know, it's details such as that which, you know, really do help it make it look good. Let's just pop up into the pop top, because I do want to show you what we've got up here, because I'm always talking about the Frolly bed system, and the Frolly bed system does make a huge difference because it gives you that extra level of comfort. So in here we've got this safety net, which is one of the requirements which has to be on there, and then we've got the SCA sprung system, which just means that you've got that comfort, you know, you've got that high level sleep quality, the comfort levels to, you know, to be able to sleep in comfort, because let's say at the end of the day we do want to be sleeping in comfort. And then with it being the SCA pop top, we've got the clasps to make sure that there's no there's no accidents of that pop top flying up as we're driving along, as we've all seen on the various different Facebooks where somebody's pop top has flown up. Yeah, it's got the security clasps on there to prevent that from happening. Yeah, we don't want that happening, do we? So Around the front here, we've got the two captain's chairs, with it being the Ford Transit Tourneo. We do have twin armrests. Always nice to have twin armrests in a camper van. Two front swivels, so both the front seats swivel. Got this swing out table, again finished in the same wooden surface. And then the front, as I'm sure you've all seen before, the Ford Transit Custom with the large display screens. So you've got a large display screen here, all your infotainment systems, so you can see what you're kind of doing with your phone, your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, as such as that. You've got the main dash screen as well, and then you've not got any gear knob or handbrake because, as you know, this one isn't automatic, so all the controls are on a stalk on the side. Fantastic vehicles to drive. If you haven't driven one and you do have any apprehension of driving one, just get in it and drive it. It is very car-like. It feels really modern, and they're beautiful. They are really are beautiful vans to drive. So yeah, get out there, test one, and but yeah, let me know what you think of them. Absolutely love the van, really do. But let's get outside, have a look around the back and see what we've got around there. So just thought I'd actually pull the bed out a little bit, push the bed a little bit further forward, just so you can actually see, you know, how much area which we've got in here. And you can see, I mean, I'm about, what, 6'5"? Maybe I'm not 6'5", but there is absolutely plenty of storage area there. And that isn't actually all the way forward. There is a few more notches left, to be perfectly honest with you. Yeah, there's actually another foot forward. It can go another further foot forward, which just shows you how much storage area you've actually got in the back of here. You've also got a couple of extra little pockets, so you just got a side pocket there. And then with the van seat being in this position, you've got access to under here. So as I've mentioned, that your electrics, so you've got your electrics and a few other bits and pieces in there. You've also got access to your fuse box there, and then you've got another large access to a cupboard here. So that's the back end of the Clayton unit there, and then you've got storage here, so this nice large big storage area. Whilst we're also here, we can see we've got the unit which we saw from in there, and it's got another light. There is literally lights just everywhere in here. Importantly, shower outlet. So I did mention the hot or cold shower. So you've got the shower outlet there, so you can connect the hose. You can actually get a bracket to be put in on the top of here, and then that means then you can actually have the shower outside. Or if it's just a case of washing your feet or your legs, or maybe washing the dog or something like that, then you can obviously just have that at the side of the van as well. It's a really useful feature to have, whether it is the hot or whether it is just the cold. Having that external shower point does really help in the lifestyle of the camper van, because when we are out in our camper vans, we might not necessarily be wanting to take all that dirt and muck and all that sand and whatever it is inside the van. So having that shower, which we can utilize before we actually, you know, get in, yeah, it is very beneficial. So just around the side of the van here, you can see we've got the Landseer graphics, some more graphics on the window detail here, and then we've also got this pop-out window here, which is nice. But we've also got here the flaps. So in this one here, this is your water filler, so that's where you can put your water, and then this one here is your electric hookup. So it hasn't just got the Clayton system where it's got that big battery to enable you actually go off-grid, so you can utilize it off-grid with a 240 watt solar on the roof. You can hook up as well. So rather than driving to charge up that Clayton or using the solar power to charge that Clayton, you can hook up as well, and then that means you can just charge it quicker. And I should also mention with that Clayton system as well, it does have the start feature for the vehicle. So if you have drained your starter battery, then you can actually just boost that battery by putting it in that mode, and then you can actually start the motor by using the Clayton system. So there we go, that is the Landseer Leisure built on the Campervan vehicle. And don't forget, if you are comparing, the Campervan is a higher spec than the Ford Transit Custom. I do like the graphics which they've got on here, but that's not the only thing I do like. I do like quite a lot about this van. You know, whether it is the mood lighting or that cabinetry, or the way the power system works with the solar panel on the roof and just keeps everything running off grid. the Induction hob. It's a really nice van, and it's got a lot of nice features. And I do realise I've got to the end of the video, and I've not actually seen any negatives. Now, that isn't necessarily a bad thing, but a lot of people often want me to point out the negatives. And I do when I am doing the videos, but I've not seen any. And if I don't see any, I can't talk about any. You know, it's a van which I really, really like. I really am a big fan of this van. Would I get it? Negative. Is it a negative? Would I get it on the Ford Transit? Or am I a badge snob? And would I want it on the Ford Transporter? That was an accident. The VW Transporter. I meant that I do like the T7. It has really grown on me. And to be perfectly honest with you, I do prefer the Transporter now than the Transit. Not something which I would have thought I'd say about a year ago, but I do now. Anyway, I've just kind of amused myself by saying that. So yes, so thank you for Landseer Leisure for inviting me up here today. Really do appreciate the time the guys have spent with me. And if you haven't seen the video which I did on the Artemis, then you can have a look at that here, or have a look at some other amazing camper vans in some videos here. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.